chapel on Sunday, we all come to pray. Going back for warriors, keeping the whispers away. In suits and in skirts, we're the rebels you say. Talking about life and dreaming of a different day. On the back row we stay, in the back we don't sway. Just let the sermon flow, we're on the back row.
It is time for another episode of The Cultural Hall. It is the first Articles of News episode after the live studio audience. A huge shout out yet again to all the people who made the traveling to the Chuckarama, the Salt Lake Chuckarama. Thanks to the folks at Chuckarama as well. Delicious
people
food
came
was
from
had by
near
all.
and far. Seriously, people drove a long way. We really appreciated that.
Yeah, Plain City, I know one person, which if you don't know where that is, imagine nowhere and then go 15 miles beyond that. That's where Plain City is. So shout out, I think Rob was from Plain City. Harriman, we had Harriman there. We've got a bunch of emails that we've got to get through. So unless you have something super important going on with you, Verlin, we'll get right
No,
to it.
the most important thing is I am feeling a certain feeling for once in my life I've never felt before.
Okay.
And that is my home football and basketball team are all both ranked in the top 10 at the same time. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And you got to see the BYU North Carolina basketball game.
I did, and it was thrilling. And not only did BYU win, which was great, but also Carolina impressed me way more than I thought they would. So I'm feeling good about both teams and hoping they meet in the Final Four.
And Dibansa is what we
AJ
thought he might be.
Debonsa?
Yeah, Debonsa.
Yes, he was master of the court. He did a nice job.
Except
Richie
for
Saunders,
that foul. Except for that foul.
You can foul all you want. It's okay as long as you don't foul out.
Well, no, there was some article that popped up in my thing that's like, he can't believe that with as much time was left and they were winning or something, that he was a rookie move.
He was playing aggressive defense, which is good for a rookie.
Yeah.
So I think it's only up for both teams, and they both look good.
And BYU, as of this recording, undefeated in football still.
8-0, baby.
That was a pretty intense game. I listened to it on my way to a wedding.
Yes, I was sitting in an eating establishment watching the game with Susan and cheering louder than I'm sure she was comfortable hearing me cheer.
But you got to do it. You got to do it until
absolutely.
we lose, and then we go, yeah, I guess we shouldn't expected them to win. We just throw up our hands and say, nope, that's not our team. That's what we do.
Yep. It was a better Saturday than it was a Monday morning when my truck battery was dead this morning, but that's completely my fault. So
the old-timey truck?
Yeah, the old-timey truck. I think when I turned it off, I turned it all the way to accessory before I pulled out the key. So it just drained overnight.
And you don't have those precautions like you do in modern cars. You got to be careful.
You do not. That's right.
You will melt a battery every time. All right, too much about you.
Okay.
Too much. We've
what
got
about
emails.
you? What did you do this?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing.
We got
You
emails.
never do anything on the weekend.
We've
That's
got
right.
emails we've got to talk about.
Let's
First
go.
of all, we talked about at the end of the episode how normally what I'll do is copy and paste, and we say go Tar Heels, and then we say Alpine Lakes
Tiger
Travel,
with the U.
Tiger with a U. And you know who we forgot?
Who did we forget?
Debbie Wanless, and she was mad.
Oh, Debbie, we are so sorry.
And you do not want to make Debbie Wanless mad.
Let's make Debbie Wanless at the beginning and the end of this episode and the next one.
Well, here's the thing. I need to admittedly not do that as a recorded portion at the end of the episodes, right? These people have invested. I need to remember they are important enough. I was lazy about it. So.
But you were challenging us. It's as much the co-host's faults as it was you. We should have caught it.
Ultimately, the buck stops here.
We can blame it on the in-studio audience. They didn't come up with it. Come on.
They weren't there. Where were they in that whole thing?
We got it. Yep.
If you've not gone back and listened to the live episode, lots of great emails even about it as well. Let me share a couple things with you. For instance, Jason, one of our live studio audience guests, says, dude. So I assume it's addressed to me. But it could have been addressed to you because you're a dude. It was just dude. It's not the drawn dude.
Oh, it's not. I thought you had to say it that way. Where I grew up, you had to say it that way. Dude.
But isn't that spelled differently? We
No,
digress.
no, Fast Time at Ridgemont's High. You got to say it the way it's meant to be said.
Dude. Yeah, dude. He says, "What an incredible time yesterday. Thank you so much for putting that together. I loved visiting with you and everyone else." Jason. So if you haven't, again, listened to it put together, thank you for thinking that was put together. That was scrambling and putting microphones in places and trying to find power that worked, and then finally it worked.
They
And
didn't have headphones.
yeah,
Verlin couldn't hear anything that was going on
yeah, geez.
on
Yeah.
mic.
But exciting.
It
Because
was.
I think we're going to do it again, and I have already solved the problem of people being able to hear the show as we
Oh,
record it. And I will also say it's also going to make it a limited studio audience. So already it's going to be a coveted space. So I decided, you know what I should do is I should buy headphones that go on a low frequency, so that like when you go to the drive-in,
yeah,
remember
yeah.
kids
Yeah,
drive-ins, they
sure.
would have it go over an FM transmitter, and you could put the radio in your car or change the radio station in your car so you could hear the sound to the movie that you were
So we're
watching.
only inviting one person to come. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. They're 50. So we'll have 50 headsets.
Oh
So
my
we can't have
gosh.
more than 50.
Well, that or we have, live speaker reinforcement.
Nope, not going to do that. Not after the investment I just made in 50 headphones. We will do it for the time being. If this ends up being a thing we do really regularly and lots of people want to come, there are ways that we can
Perfect. Yep.
get more headphones. But for
We
now,
can get
how
there.
it will be is when we announce the next one, which will be after hours. I can say
In the
that
evening.
much.
Yes.
Yeah, in the evening after work hours, because a few people expressed that. But there will always be food involved because it will be a Mormon thing.
It's
And
got
then,
to, be Mormon centric, Mormon
yeah,
culture. You
yeah.
have to have food.
And I am, though not definitive on this yet, I am proposing that it become the next one will be essentially a family home evening, in that one of the co-hosts will be if Mr. Mayor can come, maybe he's assigned the song, and we have
Yes.
a game, and we have a lesson, and then we will
What
do
about the family
episode.
calendaring?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
We may have a
perfect.
family council. I'm not
What is
sure.
what is Kurt's role going to be?
I'm not sure who that is. He was not there at the live show.
He was not, and I was surprised and baffled.
Yeah, yeah. He had something. He some sort of
Something about a
something.
retreat or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually don't know because I didn't care, because I didn't ask, because he didn't come.
And he invited me after the fact.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There is an email, interestingly enough, about Kurt. We can go there.
Yes.
Real quick.
And we'll have to talk about the envelopes that were handed to you
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
of course. That's one of these things in here too. But I'm trying to keep me and you on topic here.
Please.
This is from Jonathan. Jonathan emailed in. This is about a previous episode. Says Kurt is right. Family evening's not on Monday
Dang
night
it.
anymore. Outside Utah, other things are scheduled on that night. We just spend all day Sunday. And then Jonathan goes on to say, "You are right," talking to me. "I hate calling people bishop afterward. They are not acting in that calling anymore. Their opinion or thoughts are their own now. Also, answer my other email, Richie." Jonathan, I don't know what his other email is, so that will be
You don't get the
they-
answer to other emails till you get 5 emails in at least,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 5 deep. Now you brought up the envelopes that were dispersed among the various co-hosts. This is harkening back a little bit. In fact, one of the co-hosts didn't even know what this is referencing. So,
Ah.
I don't know, a year maybe?
Yeah, a
Does
year
that
and a
sound
half,
right?
something like somewhere in there, 12 to 18 months ago.
Kurt Frankham again. Geez, what is this? Leading
What is-
Saints?
oh,
Ugh.
jeez.
He was speaking somewhere, and he was handed an envelope that had some money in it, and given explicit instructions to get that money in that envelope to me.
Correct.
As it turns out, sometime shortly thereafter, or maybe even that same night, Kurt Frankham and I were in the same area of I-15 and traveling in the same direction. And I said, "Hey, I'll catch up to you. Where are you? Pull over at the IHOP in Bountiful and get me the money, because I don't trust you. You're going to spend it." Pull over.
And
He
by the
got-
time you got there, he had gone to Maverick and
yeah, he'd already
spent
spent
it.
it. Yeah, got himself a dirty soda with the Pebble Ice at Maverick. Pull into the parking lot. His whole family's waiting. They've been at a thing that he was speaking at, and they're over it, right? They don't want to be in the car anymore. But I insisted inside the envelope was some money from Rob. And I said, you know what?
Ah,
I insist that anytime you see Kurt Frankham speak anywhere, that you hand him an envelope that has cash in it and that he make sure and get it to me. Well, Rob, one of our guests at our live studio audience, decided to continue that and put some money in various envelopes and handed them to the co-hosts of the show and said, "Make sure you get this. Please deliver to Richie Stedman." And so we get done with the show. We're wrapping up. It's that time where it's finally the calm because we finally got through all of it. And then people start handing me envelopes that have come
how
from
many did
Rob.
you get total? Was it
Six, I think.
six envelopes?
Yes, yeah. And he marked, if that's not right, I'm pretty sure it is six, but I think he put like one of six, two of
Okay.
six, three of six on it. But he was
And were there
contributing to the
contents in
cholesterol.
each envelope?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And
cool.
very generous. We appreciated what he did, and it will go towards things like our future family home evening, as well as the headphones that have now been purchased. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
and that money that comes in from Patreon Saints at patreon.com/the cultural hall. I had some money in an account that I could do for it, but let me let you know that if you become a Patreon Saint, you are helping to make things like that possible. So do that. Why don't you?
Yeah. Jump in.
Yeah.
You're getting enjoyment out of this. You pay for everything else that you enjoy. If you go to the movie or your
Yeah.
streaming service or whatever, throw a couple of shekels this way.
Yeah, and think of us like popcorn,
Mm.
but we don't get your hands all greasy, right?
Yeah, no calories and,
We're
and no need
delicious.
to pump the,
Yeah.
the butter onto your popcorn. Yeah,
Do you remember when they used to let us pump our own butter?
we still do here.
Oh yeah, not here. Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
we
People
have the
took-
self-serve machine.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Utahns can't be trusted. Can you imagine if we could?
Well, it
frost
really
our own
annoys Susan
cookies or-
because she always wants it to be the carton to be a third full, put butter in, second third more butter,
Sure.
third more butter.
Mhm.
I think the reason she does that is because I hate that, and then I don't eat much popcorn,
Yeah.
so she gets it all.
Yeah, it's like putting dial soap in your trees so that keeps the deer away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Not Irish Spring. That's
Oh,
good
maybe
to
it
know.
is Irish Spring. I thought it was the yellow dial. No?
Oh, I don't know. I
Some of
don't
them.
know, but we have deer in our yard. We may have to use this once we get our house done and actually live in it.
The new neighbors out bathing in their yard again. It's the Yowds.
I was
So
thinking of putting a plunge pool out there. We'll see.
you should. Rob, though, he emails in and says, that was a great event yesterday. So he wrote that email. Had a lot of fun. It was really great to finally meet you and the others in person. I hope it was worthwhile for you because it was a lot of fun for me and the other fans. Keep up the good work. Now, what I thought was so funny, and I didn't even recognize it until today, his subject line in his email, Charles O. Rama. Like Chuckarama's
Like Chuckarama.
apostolic name. I thought that was so funny, and that didn't register to me until
Rob,
today.
that is awesome.
We call it to the
Capital
quorum of the
A.
70, Charles
Charles O.
O.
Rama.
Rama.
Yes.
So, Rob, thank you for that. I'm assuming that this is Megan, but I don't know. I got a text to email about the live show. One, The Bachelorette says that it's starting in 2026. That's with Taylor Frankie Paul. So that
2026, that's a long time to wait, but I guess they have to do it after the Secret Lives has gone to their next season.
they can't overlap the seasons.
No.
It would be bad programming. Second thing is, they have also announced the names of the bachelors who will be on The Bachelorette, or the Bachelor with her as the Bachelorette. They've announced the names of the people. So I did a little bit of scoping.
Oh, good for
A little
you.
bit of stalking of people. So we'll talk about that coming up in news. But thank you to that. And then we also referenced in the live studio audience episode my favorite part of my face. And we couldn't remember the name of the comedian. Steve Solberg is
That's
the name
right.
of the
That's right.
comedian. So,
And for those that didn't listen, if you go back and listen to that live episode, you get to find out the favorite part of Richie's face and all of the other co-hosts' face, at least in our own opinions.
yes. Other things. This from Cynthia. Hey guys, recently heard you talking about the demise of the youth stake dance, and yes, I would agree that in most places in the West it is dying in popularity. But in Mountain Home, Idaho, the stake dance is alive and well. Our dances are very well attended, and probably 75% of the kids there are dancing the entire night. They are so fun! Exclamation point.
That's
Almost ev-
fabulous.
Almost every song has a dance that corresponds to it, a line dance, a swing dance, or just jumping around, and they slow dance! Exclamation point. And the best part is that the slow dance, or that when they slow dance with each other, they slow dance with everyone, so that a dance doesn't, quote, mean anything. It doesn't mean they're dating or they love each other, or even with the youth with boyfriends or girlfriends. Everyone just dances with each other. These youth are some of the most mature, inclusive, fun youth I've met. I may be biased because 3 of them are mine. Thank you for all you put out in the world, Cultural Hall. Hope I can make the next live broadcast. Cynthia sent that into contact@theculturalhall.com.
That's phenomenal. I would say one of two things or possibly both. They may be living in a time warp from the late 70s, early 80s.
It is Idaho.
Number two, they have incredible youth and leadership. I want to learn about that culture and how you can take that culture other places, because there is so much fun to be had if youth take it on that way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The 2 things I would say is don't call them youth. That's one
The
way.
rising generation.
That's how you can instill that. Another
Utes.
email. We talked about in the live episode what hymns we would get rid of or that we would like to keep, etc.
Yep.
I mentioned, as well as I think Megan did as well. Maybe it was you, about if you could hi to Kolob.
It was Megan. Yeah.
This email from Karen says, a few years ago, I was watching a PBS show about famous murders in England. There was a well-known ditty that kids would sing about the murder. The music started in the background as the narrator told the story. Imagine my surprise when I recognized the tune. It was If You Could Hide a Kolob, and it causes me to smile every time I hear the song. I tried to find the words for you, but quickly ran out of motivation, so you'll have to check for yourself. I don't know the actual words to the murder song, but the tune is known as Kingsfold.
That's right.
This is used for various hymns, such as I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say, and also Crooked Jack, as well as The Year Turns Round Again. So the song The Year Turns Round Again was featured in the movie War Horse.
Okay. Well, obviously an old English hymn that was brought over by the saints and used in our hymn book.
So thank you, Karen, for that email. This from Dave. He emails in contact@theculturalhall.com and says, as I was listening to the most recent Temple Ticker, I pondered on what you often express frustration with. Why does the church do some of the things that it does, i.e. fighting with communities over the height of a steeple, at the cost of hurting the good name of the church in those areas? Dave goes on to say, I was excommunicated for hurting the good name of the church, and no news articles or courtroom battles were a part of my actions. So why is it good for, as they say, the goose, but not for the gander?
That's a great question. Thank you for sharing.
Any immediate things as far as that one goes?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I guess I would just say, depending on what the thing that you do that ruins the reputation of the church, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to try to guess unknowingly. Right?
Yeah.
But yes.
I think that
there are a number of different things that could do such a thing.
Yeah. And I would say that you always likely will make someone mad. And I think that that's different than maybe hurting the good name of the church. And maybe it is something to be thought of when we go, hey, we're doing these temples and it's hurting the community. Do I think an apostle or a 70 is going to be excommunicated because they said, no, go forth, let's do it? No, I don't. But there certainly is some consideration for something like that.
I don't know why this brought to mind, but we were obviously in Salt Lake this past week, and Susan and I were looking over at the Salt Lake Temple, still covered in scaffolding. But one thing that is clearly visible is our friend Moroni standing at the top. And they, I guess, deinstalled him and then reinstalled him. The question is, now that President Nelson has passed on and it's now in the hands of President Oaks, our new prophet, I want to make sure we mention that in the first third of today's episode. With that said, do you think there's going to be any change to putting Moroni's back on temples?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No. Past news. That's what I think it is. I think that President Oaks will go, Great. I'm on board. We'll be the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We won't have Moroni's on the temple. And my thing is this. I don't think he's going to look back. I
So you
think
think I should take my petition down then?
Yeah. Well, you want Moroni's back?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes,
I like a
there's a
flying Moroni.
symbology.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate that, but there's a symbology there that means something.
Yeah.
And I miss that.
Yeah, if you could guarantee me that it would be flying Moroni's, I would sign your petition. But where it's just willy-nilly, how is Moroni going to be?
We don't have any recorded episode of him flying, though. He appeared in the room in front of Joseph.
No, but there is, I think, Nauvoo, that where the Moroni at the top of Nauvoo originally.
My
Maybe I'm
understanding
incorrect.
was that was original, but it wasn't Moroni. It was just an angel. And
It
no
was-
one named it Moroni until after the fact, after it had already been installed.
Yeah, it was just a angel.
That's
As I
right.
wink, as
Hey,
I
it could have been Gabriel. It could have
Yeah.
been Michael. It could
Yeah,
have been
tons of angels.
Yes.
Lucifer,
Wow.
technically an angel at one point, maybe. That's a doctrine. He and his brother. Uh-oh, where have we gone here? This went askew real quick. That's why they're not Christians. They believe.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And then this final email. This is a soapbox email, so I will just read it as
Woohoo.
Regina. My guess, Regina, emailed it in, and then we will take a break and we will come back with actual articles of news. So here it goes. Regina. I can't understand how members of my faith can shrug and look away, saying, quote, they are illegal. Immigrants may not have valid, up-to-date documentation, but no person is illegal. Only actions. We should refrain from using dehumanizing language. Immigration is complicated. Not everyone considered undocumented crossed the border in willful disregard for the law. Some were brought as children. Some overstayed a visa. Some have been trying to navigate the lengthy and complicated process of applying for legal residency or citizenship, but have not yet finished. We should be lobbying for solutions that provide a compassionate way for immigrants to obtain legal status, allowing those who are law-abiding in every other way to stay while Congress figures it out. Immigration raids by masked men are happening daily all over the country. They throw people into unmarked vehicles, often violently, and deny them due process. Quote, mistakes, end quote, are often made in their methods, terrorizing communities, inflicting injuries, and holding detainees in inhumane conditions, denying access to legal representation, family contact, and even medication. Grab them and lock them up. If they claim they are citizens, call them a liar and let someone else sort it out. It is estimated that over 70% of the detainees have no criminal record. Some are taken into custody when they report to appointments to renew their green card, doing it the right way. Removal orders are issued for clerical errors. As a disciple of Jesus Christ, I cannot, in good conscience, ignore the cruelty and often brutality inflicted on immigrants, whether they have broken the law or not. If we are going to insist immigrants, quote, do it right, end quote, then we should be equally, if not more adamant that ICE, quote, do it right, end quote, and act within the limits of the law. Ignoring the abuses committed by ICE while holding immigrants to the most stringent interpretation of, quote, obeying, honoring, and sustaining the law, end quote, is wrong. Stepping off of my soapbox, Regina.
Regina, thank you.
There was I think it was the mayor of Chicago, where he's being asked, and there he says illegal aliens, and he said, listen, they're not aliens, they're not illegal, these are people who are here, and does a lot of the same messaging that Regina just said, and said, are you going to sit there and call me a slave because my ancestors were slaves as well, and just dismisses the sort of racism and the dehumanization of saying illegal aliens, slaves, any of those kind of things that we sort of point out. And here's the deal. We, a collective we, need to do better.
I agree.
Need to do better by the people within our congregations, the people in our community, the people in our country. We need to do better by everyone. And
I agree.
That's not this side, you guys, those people, just me. It needs to be better. It is at a place of disgust. It needs to be better.
Yeah, no one is suggesting lawlessness. No one is suggesting anarchy. I really liked Regina's comment about if we're going to expect certain behavior from one side,
Yep.
we should expect equal or frankly better behavior from the government or agency side
Yep.
in taking care of that situation.
Yep.
So yes, I agree completely.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, I will tell you the biggest piece of news that we have gotten since our live studio audience show, and you can bet it will lead. This will be the first story out of the gate because we need to do the most important story that showed up the most. Coming back in the second half of Articles of News.
Looking for a gift that's meaningful and unique? Discover the artistry of Latter Day 3D Studio, where we 3D print exquisitely detailed temple magnets, Christmas ornaments, temple ties, and more. Each item is meticulously crafted layer by layer to bring the spirit of the temple into your home. These creations make ideal gifts for baptisms, ordinations, or birthdays in primary, young women, or relief society. Visit LatterDay3DStudio.com and find the temple that inspires you. Latter Day 3D Studio, where faith meets craftsmanship.
Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company, now 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do, that's right, actual articles of news. So please, won't you sing a little ditty, Peter Breinholt?
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. Stop the presses. Stop. This is the biggest news. We're not talking about a book report for 16 minutes. We're not doing any of this. You need to know the new first presidency got their picture taken.
They did.
They got their picture taken, and that picture is available. So let us not tread under our feet a lesser.
We don't want to
important
bury the
news.
lead. Yes, this is important.
It is, for the last 2 days now, 3 days maybe, been the thing that has come through the news things. There's been other news stories, and we're certainly going to talk about that. I'm not sure why it's such big news. I mean,
Well, it's the official portrait of the first presidency.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
President Oaks doubled up and had a new official portrait of himself released.
sure. Okay.
And they look phenomenal. They look
Yeah,
great.
Great.
It's wonderful.
Are you a household? We were given the ammunition, whatever, to have the picture of the first presidency and a temple in our home. Do you do that? Do you have the first presidency picture in your home?
You're not remembering. I don't have a home right now.
Well, but I mean, when you'd have in the past, when you've had a home, have you done that?
The answer on the temple is absolutely yes. We have
Okay.
always had a picture
But
of
not
the
first
temple.
presidency.
Not always the first presidency. No.
Yeah.
No.
I've never done first presidency, and I'm not sure that I've ever done a temple before. I have pictures of the temple. I like a Kirtland temple because of my mission
Yeah,
service.
of course. Yeah. We always had a picture of the Seattle temple because that's where we were married eons ago.
Yeah.
And then once the Raleigh temple was built, we were here while it was built the first time and dedicated the first time, as well as rebuilt and rededicated. So we've had a picture of that in our home as well.
Yeah. I think it's a great outward symbol to people.
Yeah. We have
I
a picture
like
of
those.
Christ always in the home too.
Yeah, I don't have, we have one picture of Christ, and it sort of sometimes gets put up and sometimes isn't. Not based on mood or anything like that, or behavior, right? Like, I was a bad boy
Turn
today.
it
Take that down.
around.
You're good. Don't look at this, and then you flip it around. I saw
I've
that.
heard of parents doing things like that, but I think that's a little odd.
But yeah, I mean, we don't. In fairness, we don't have a tremendous amount of like art or art places in our home yet. We're still kind of in that
Ah.
phase of moving into this house and having that. So
Now, what in terms of pictures of the prophet and the apostles, something that my daughter-in-law and my son do during general conferences, they put pictures up of the first presidency and all of the quorum of the 12 apostles. And then when any of them speak, one of their little sons gets to run up and put a sticker on their picture wherever they want to put it.
oh, that's a fun game.
So it's kind of fun to see who speaks and when and how. And then they, of course, play, the bingo contest and the word contest, and they get to eat different snacks depending on which word is said. I think atonement has like the biggest snack or the best snack.
It's the longest word.
Yeah. And so that's kind of a fun tradition. I just learned this last conference because we're living here with them.
Now, we did not, as is often, line out any sort of news order for what we want to talk about. So I'm just going to join you. We are going to go back and forth as to what we think the next story should be.
Sure.
We don't have to go in order at all.
I know. I'm going to stick with the first presidency because I thought it was cool that they had a couple of interviews after they were called. And they talked about some specific topics of relevance that I think if others haven't seen this news, they ought to. There was one of the interviewers was, let's see, Jane Clayson Johnson interviewed the first presidency, and the first topic asked about was the role of women in the church. And then all of the members of the first presidency commented. Elder Christofferson said, or President Christofferson, I guess I should say,
Yep.
when we bring both perspectives together, we get a better perspective. We get closer to the divine perspective. So that was a great insight. And then President Eyring added, leadership is serving, and women do that in a way that is just remarkable. And then President Oaks acknowledged the church has not always been wise in using the great qualification and power of the daughters of God. He says, we have work left to do. I think that's great.
Yeah, I have had the thought strike me a couple of times, so I'll say it now because I'm thinking it again. I think what you'll see under a President Oaks presidency, movement on things with women. Because his mom, an extraordinary woman, and yeah, I'm going to say
being raised in a non-traditional family and a multi-generational family, and with two strong women as part of that family. Yeah.
Yep. I think that will be the movement that you will see, and I think there will be lots of people that go, we didn't expect that from such a traditionalist like President Oaks, but I think that will be a President Oaks presidency. Yeah.
The second topic they talked about is what's driving church growth. We've all, talked about the almost 1 million members that have joined in the last 3 years. And according to President Oaks, it's a gospel of happiness and growth and information about the purpose of life. People who subscribe to its doctrine find that it makes their life more happy, more significant, more resistant to the difficulties we all experience in mortal life, and more able to serve their fellow men and to raise their children. President Eyring says the growth of the church will accelerate when people find the gospel of Jesus Christ presented by missionaries. They see hope.
Yep.
And President Christofferson says, I believe that's what we're seeing. The Lord is bringing things to pass. We're able to help, maybe on the fringes, but he is moving in his power. I see the Lord moving across the earth and his spirit influencing people in their lives. So
it is worth noting Jane Clayson Johnson, the interviewer of the first presidency, previous guest of the Cultural Hall, episode number 306. You have to be a Patreon saint to be able to hear that episode.
I need to go back and listen to that one.
She wrote a book, as I recall, and you'll forgive me if this isn't accurate, but she wrote a book talking about, on some level, mental illness and how we have sort of that stigma, like you don't shame people if they have a broken leg when they go to the doctor. We don't go, oh my gosh, you needed a doctor for your broken leg.
Why are you going to the doctor?
Yeah. And that a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist is just a doctor for another part of your body that could in fact need help. So that's just part of her book, as I recall.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else from their interview?
The other significant topic is a message to those on the margins. And this can be any number of people, from people that have questionable legal status to people that are our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ community. But President Christofferson says, come forward and contribute what you can to the body of Christ. Everyone is valuable. Every contribution is valuable. President Oak says, we are all children of God. God loves them, and he has a plan for them wherever they are on the pathway toward that divine destiny. I thought that was special. To add just a tiny personal experience here, we just got a new high counselor in our stake who was called, and he's never been, I guess he's been an executive secretary. He's never served in a bishopric, was called to the high council, was asked to where he was assigned to our ward. So as the elders quorum president, he comes and has elders quorum presidency meetings with us. And he shared with me recently that he is part of that community, part of the LGBTQ community, and he is living the law of chastity and living a temple-worthy life. And the state presidency called him to serve on the High Council.
Geez, that's
and
incredible.
I think that
that's
is
awesome.
a beautiful, wonderful thing.
That's great.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me take the next news story then. This probably now a week or so old, but I just wanted to talk about this because, and well, two reasons. One, because I know you care, and not everyone that co-hosts the show cares about stuff like this. But second, the Holy War, right? The BYU Utah football game.
Sure.
Now weeks old, BYU, came out on top, victors. Before the game, it is tradition, it is customary for BYU home games specifically, though I would imagine they probably do it in private at road games. Do you know?
I'm sure the team does. I'm sure the team does in private.
Has a prayer, but not like the stadium at East Carolina didn't allow them to be like, let's go ahead and have a prayer over the loudspeaker.
No, and BYU is not the only school that does this. I was at the BYU versus Liberty game a couple of years ago, and Liberty had a beautiful opening prayer before the game.
So BYU game this year, the Holy War down in Provo, they have the pregame prayer. Utah kicker Dylan Curtis fanned the flames of the Holy War ahead of the Utes rivalry because before the matchup even kicked off, Curtis sparked tensions when he was accused of religious disrespect. Ahead of every game they pray. Most bowed their heads in prayer, while others at least momentarily stopped what they were doing to observe the blessing. However, there was one notable person who didn't pause to recognize the moment of prayer. Curtis, that is Dylan Curtis, that is the kicker for the University of Utah. Despite the silence and stillness that blanketed LaBelle Edwards Stadium, the Utah kicker continued to get his pregame reps in. Curtis was captured in a video practicing his kicks as the clip panned around the stands, showing the attendees with their heads bowed. His refusal to pause sparked fury among BYU fans online, who accused him of poor sportsmanship and disrespect. Quote, "That was trashy. I sit down by the visitor section and they were yakking it up during the prayer as well. Very intentional," one fan claimed. Responding to the video of Curtis's warm-ups, they are the only fan base that does this. Even Stanford fans. That's right. Even those godless Stanford fans had enough respect to be quiet during the prayer. Probably explains why Coach Whittingham wouldn't let him kick during the game. How disrespectful, not just to BYU, but to God, another person complained. His coach claims to be a member, but allowed this. It's extremely disrespectful, a third social media user fumed. There is no evidence to suggest that Curtis, who is originally from Murray, Utah, is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
So my comments here, a couple. Number one, much ado about nothing. I was in the stands. Not a single person around me noticed it, let alone commented on it. Not a single person.
But there is a class, like being a classy person kind of thing,
well, that's
right?
what getting to number two.
Yep.
Number two, how many times have you gone to a church activity that's boisterous and loud and lots of things going on, and you turn around and realize they're halfway through the prayer already and you were still yakking with somebody?
Sure.
Why don't you give the man the benefit of the doubt? He's at one of the highest charged games, one of the biggest emotional games. I don't know if he's a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I don't know if he's ever played BYU because this is the first time in 3 years we've played. He's hearing all of this stuff going on. He's nervous as crazy. He knows he's going to be called on. He's muffed a couple of kicks over the last couple of games. And so he's totally nervous and doing everything he can to practice. And he realizes the prayer's already started. He probably heard the amen and thought, oh my gosh, I just missed it.
Yeah, unless he was being a deliberate jerk, in which
I
case
don't
that's why
believe
you
he
lost,
was.
Dylan Curtis. That
I
is
don't
why you lost
believe
the game.
I don't believe he was being a deliberate jerk. And number three, that's not the reason the coach didn't let him kick. He's had some challenges kicking. And so the coach decided to go for touchdowns or go for fourth downs instead of kicking field goals, which was wise to do in this particular game.
I like the idea that it was because of his religious disrespect, and that because Brother Whittingham
The Lord
was
takes
like,
such a
"How dare
stand
you?"
between these
Yeah,
two teams.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah. He cares. God in
And the
heaven.
last thing, I was frankly totally impressed during the prayer that Utah fans were respectful. I've been at BYU Utah games where during the middle of the prayer, they'll do a cheer.
Yep.
And nothing like that happened here. I thought there was total respect.
Yeah.
So I chalked this up to a nervous kid.
Yeah. I think they're getting better about it. And the idea of a holy war is just,
It's awesome. It's great
is
press.
it
It's
awesome?
fantastic. Yes, it is. This is what football is all about. But we're brothers until we play. We beat the living daylights out of each other, and then we should be brothers after the fact. Now, I'm just as guilty as anyone. I don't wear red. There's a very specific reason I don't wear red, and it's not just because I have a summer complexion and it looks terrible on me.
Uh-huh.
But I
Although
don't wear
both
red.
of those things are true.
It's true. But I don't wear red because it's the University of Utah's colors. And I think I've mentioned it before. My brother for Christmas has multiple times sent me University of Utah t-shirts. And in every case on December 26th, I take it in the backyard and I light it on fire and send him a
Shut up.
picture or a video.
Is that real?
Yes.
That's awesome.
But I love my brothers who are University of Utah fans and my friends. It's all in great fun.
Okay. All right. You could donate it. Someone could make good
I
use
could,
out
but
of
it's
that
way
thing.
more fun to light it on fire.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What news story do you think is the next important?
I think the
most
one we
important?
have to talk about. The church just announced this was massive when I read it. 55 new missions in the church. This takes us to 506 missions. The church just announced 10% more missions this week. That is amazing. Who would have ever dreamed such a thing, right?
Well, and why did we take so long to talk about it, Verlin? It's most important, and we took forever.
We did, but it's mostly because I wanted to give Richie a chance. Out of these 55 missions, I need him to tell me which one he's going to be called to as mission president, number one. Number two, nominate which one Kurt Frankham should be called to, because we don't wish for callings, of course, but
He does.
I'll let him defend himself there.
No, he does.
But which missions should we send Kurt to?
Okay.
And then which mission would I go to? So what do you think here? We won't do the kiss, smooch, or kill.
Yeah,
or
like we
kiss,
did in the live
smooch,
episode.
marry, or kill, like we did in the live episode. But which one would you go for?
Okay, so I mean, let me rephrase some of the things you said. Which one will I be called to? None of them ever in a million years.
I'm
will they
starting
ever
that.
call
I'm
me to
starting
do
that petition online. Look
Please
for it
stop.
soon.
Please stop. So if I get to pick? Is that what we're saying? Where would I
pick.
to go?
Where would you pick first?
Oh, I'm scrolling.
There's some beauties here.
Yeah. Well, let me start here. I don't know. Part of me wants to go somewhere fancy, but then part of me, if I'm actually going to do this, wants to be somewhere that I don't have to worry about all the things that goes with somewhere going fancy. You know what I mean? You know, like a good Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'd do a Cheyenne.
I think
Wyoming.
that's a sweet assignment.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Could you get an exception to the rule book and be able to would they allow you to ride horses on your mission?
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Mission president gets to do whatever they want.
That's right.
Gets to have guests, go where they want. Any of the California, the Oceanside mission,
that's a sweet
Victorville
assignment.
or Ontario. I think Coeur d'Alene, Idaho would be a gorgeous mission to be able to serve in. That's northern Idaho for folks that don't know that part of it.
Beautiful part of the world and terrible winters.
Depending on how old I am when this call comes, Arizona, Phoenix East would be great. You know, I don't ever have to worry about being cold ever again. What I was amazed about in Europe, the France, Paris South, the Greece, Athens, and the Spain, Madrid East.
Greece, Athens, what a place to be called.
Yeah.
I mean, That's almost as good as being called to Jerusalem on a mission.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pretty well.
Athens and Greece, right at the beginnings of Christianity as well.
Interesting to note, too, that 16 of these are on the continent of Africa, 16 of the new 55 missions. So,
Yeah, I battled with, as I thought about mine, would I want to go to Africa just because the missionary work is on fire there? That would be a lot of fun.
you raised the question, though, and I seem to remember in the back of my mind that Kurt Frankum went to somewhere in California, Sacramento, maybe. So I think I'd send him as close to Sacramento as I could, and I think that's probably Victorville. Get him right back.
It is. It is.
They go,
I
Elder
was- I
Frankum.
was-
We remember Elder Frankum.
I was thinking Elder Frankham ought to go to Samoa Apia East.
Okay.
Put him out there in the middle of the South Pacific. Let him learn a completely new and different culture.
You know what? He's going to be your best friend now because that's everything that he wants. He's the Elders Quorum president right now, but he would if you told him, hey, if you sell your home and move across the street and you could be the bishop of that ward or the stake president, he would, without a doubt, he would make that move.
I'm not making any comment, only to say that when the Lord works in mysterious ways, we had a bishop years ago that they actually carved just his cul-de-sac into a ward. So the ward was almost a square boundary, but had a little nib on the end where his cul-de-sac was, so they could put him into the ward.
Interesting.
So my choice here, I think my choice, number one, Athens, Greece sounds fantastic. The weather there is like Southern California. It's living in San Diego. The food, the culture, the history. And I've got to believe the work is going to be really interesting because of the Orthodox Christianity that exists there. Kind of an emotional one. I would love to go to Canada, Toronto East, because we lived in Toronto for 3 years. And I would be near all kinds of friends doing that. And then from a family historical point of view, my father served in South Africa, and there is a new South Africa East London mission. I have no idea where that is in South Africa, but I think that would be really cool to have an Elder Yaud serving where an Elder Yaud served in the late 50s.
All these missions don't come into play until July 1st of 2026, so
That's right.
exciting. Also, some of these missions are reinstatements of previous missions that had closed and been absorbed into other missions. So
Yes, that's even more beautiful. I think that's wonderful.
let me see here. Where would I like to go for my next news story? I want to talk about this, and maybe this will take us out depending on how much we talk about it. So there is a influencer. We've talked previously about Exmos on YouTube and on TikTok and
Oh,
some
yes,
things.
yes.
And this to me is there is a particular one, not going to mention him or her by name, because I just think that's, everything that she would want. But she brings up the idea of the Mormon backflip theory.
Oh, please.
And so here we go. A new internet theory has captured social media attention. Now, before we go any further, a manufactured thing by an influencer. It reminds me of if you
please do not go to her page, and
No.
please, anyone listening, don't give her the credit here.
When in Mean Girls, the movie Mean Girls, where the character is trying to make fetch happen, it's like that. I'm trying to make this.
Well,
thing
and she
be a
hasn't
thing.
she hasn't been in the press for a couple of weeks, so she needs to come up with something else.
Yeah. Called the Mormon backflip theory, it suggests that Latter-day Saints youth are discouraged from drinking, smoking, or swearing, and so acrobatic stunts have become a wholesome yet attention-grabbing alternative for men. This is not a joke. This is a legitimate thing being discussed on the internet. Now, here's why. Social media is exploded with examples from celebrities and everyday Mormons alike, highlighting a surprisingly widespread and long-standing trend. Now, before we go any further, I can't backflip. Can you backflip, Verlin?
No, sir.
Okay. The Mormon backflip theory.
I can do it off a diving board into a pool and have an incredibly bad experience doing a belly flop if I try it.
Oof. And I wouldn't even try it because I know I'm that untalented. Celebrities like Benson Boone, formerly LDS, and Brendan Urie, lead singer of Panic at the Disco, also formerly LDS, helped spark the trend, but ordinary Mormons have been flipping for years.
We
It
have
is
been. Instead of saying certain words, that flippin' sister, that flippin' elder, that flippin' scout. Yep.
Yeah, we have been that. But this idea that it is on some level, some sort of peacocking, okay, I can go with that. I can say that youth do things to get the attention of other people, but I don't think that this
Mostly
is a
the
specific.
opposite gender. And
Yes.
yes, they'll do anything, including a backflip.
Yes. I remember a big one when I was in the dating scene as a teenager. If you played the guitar and we would go and do like these things around the campfires up the canyons, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you even, I remember one kid, I don't think that he even knew how to play the guitar, but he just
took
knew
one.
if he had the guitar with him and just like started to strum that was an attention getting thing.
I think he's probably onto something.
So
Yeah, I had a friend that tried to impress others by eating live spiders.
oh, okay. So a
And he was like
peacocking
50,
thing, but
he was
it's
like
not a
15
Mormon
years
thing.
old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a teenage boy thing mostly.
People
Yep.
on the internet, though, just affirmed what she said. Quote, I grew up in the church, and I can confirm that doing a backflip is one of the classic ways for a Mormon boy to attract a mate and to simultaneously dunk on his less athletic friends. Quote, this, put simply, is Mormon peacocking, and for me, this is the athletic version of the Mormon boy that brings a guitar to every single function he attends. Quote, I'm sorry, but I cannot stop laughing at this. What in the world? When you're a teenager and you can't get drunk, the thrill of possibly breaking your neck is the next best thing, wrote somebody else. Numerous stars have spoken about their Mormon upbringing. Benson Boone, obviously, is what is making this be talked about now. Brendan Urie, like we talked about. But also, don't forget, we include people like David Archuleta.
Did he backflip?
No, he did not, but
I didn't think so.
things. He would do things. Hollywood A-lister Ryan Gosling, raised in the church.
Did he backflip?
No, but he says,
Okay.
quote, you have to pray in public, shake a lot of hands, talk in public, sing in church, stuff like that. And it's definitely
I'm still waiting for the
stayed
trend.
with
The
me.
majority.
Same true for Amy Adams, who noted, quote,
Did
grew
she
up as
backflip?
Mormon. No,
Wait.
no. She grew up as Mormon, and that had more an impact on my values than my beliefs. And then this person goes on to say, it's a great way for Mormon men to show off and look cool while behaving within the confines of the church's rules.
I'm trying to remember the name. Who was the Olympic gymnast who's a member of the church? He was a gymnast back in the 80s and went to the Olympics. And he coaches now at BYU. I believe he's the varsity gymnastics coach.
Oh, I don't know. I
can't remember his name.
But he was the original flipper.
He flipped, and because he flipped, I was of an age. I was a teenager at that point in time, and there was another couple of guys in our stake that did the same thing, and they were both gymnasts, and we were all jealous that they could backflip and none of us could. Now, I could swim a lot faster than he could, but no one wanted to come watch me swim. He could backflip at a stake dance. So...
And because he flipped, you too shall flip.
I think this flipping trend, it probably is more real and more common than soaking, but not much.
Sure. Yes. Yes. Thanks for taking it there. No warning. Sorry. Parents with kids in their car. Yeah, definitely.
It has to do with swimming.
Yeah, because you can point to two people where you've seen that they've done it, whereas the soaking thing, we're just like, maybe.
My cousin's sister's boyfriend. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that didn't take nearly long enough to end out this episode. What did
No,
you
there's
want to talk
there's
about?
a couple of cool things here related to that football game at BYU, but a really cool story is the CEO of Crumble.
Okay.
And there's a lot going on in his life. For those that don't know, I think it was earlier this year, he was outed without his permission, and then came out and shared with everyone that indeed he is gay. And talked a little bit about his struggles. But at this BYU game, at the end of the game, there was a public announcement made that they asked that no one rush the field after the game because
that's for safety's sake, right? Safety of the players.
That is the general thought, is safety of the players. There's another thought that is also damaging the field, which costs a lot of money to maintain.
Okay, I'll allow that.
And then third, when I was at BYU as a freshman, I will neither confirm nor deny that I was party to tearing down one of the goalposts and carrying it outside of the stadium.
Why couldn't I have been friends with that, Verlin?
And it was mostly because of another friend I had who was the instigator. But with that said, at the end of the game, they made this announcement. They made it, I think, twice, covered their legal liability. And of course, as soon as the buzzer sounded, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
The students rushed the field. And I was joyful for them. I thought it was the best thing they could ever do. How many times do you get to do that in your career at a university? Take a selfie, take a video. I mean, it's a fantastic. The second time I did it was at the University of North Carolina 2 years ago when we beat Duke. So, and again, Susan was the instigator, so I had to follow her down.
You didn't have to say that. We knew.
No, you knew. But in this case, there is a fine that's attached to students rushing the field, and the Big 12 Conference initially assessed a $50,000 fine.
Jeez.
Now, what was awesome is the CEO of Crumble immediately came out and said, I'm covering the fine. I've got it, guys. Don't worry about it.
Got this.
What great publicity for Crumble. What a classy move. What a way to show the students, hey, I'm with you. I'm supporting you. Mm-hmm. Now, what's great is a day later, the Big 12 Conference came out and said, you made the right announcements. You had the right security personnel in place. You did all the things you're supposed to do. You couldn't have stopped the rush. Right. We are not going to fine you the $50,000. So what did the CEO of Crumble do? He took the $50,000.
He kept it. He lined his pockets with it.
He paid all of the school lunch debt in Utah and Salt Lake counties. And with what was left over, he then donated that to the NIL fund at BYU.
Yeah. Quick correction, just for clarity's sake. He did for the Salt Lake School District, which is where the University of Utah would be, and the Provo School District, not for all of Utah County and Salt Lake County. That's
okay. I was giving him too much credit.
Wow, but still, the huge thing.
What an awesome thing. Great publicity, but it tells me the man has a great heart. Whether you like Crumble more than you like any of the competitors' cookies, the man has a good heart.
Now, spoiler, hopefully, about a future episode of the Cultural Hall.
Are we going to get him?
Molly the Ash Ashton, he has asked, hey, who has this guy interviewed before? Because I don't just want to spend time with some internet nutcase that doesn't know how to...
that only has 3 podcast episodes instead of 978 now.
Yeah, that's right. And so I told him a few of the episodes that we had done. Now, do you care to guess? I will send you a delicious treat.
Oh,
if you can guess one of the 5 people that I said, hey, tell him we interviewed one of these people. Actually, you know what? I'm not just going to give you one. You have to guess 2.
Oh, Ben Shalati.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Pierre Delecto.
One of the best episodes.
Episode number 500 something, 400 something.
I don't know.
Somewhere in there.
One of my favorite episodes.
That's a great episode.
You got one more guess. You gotta get one right here. Otherwise, you don't get to make any more guesses, and I get to keep the treats for myself.
Peter Breinholt.
Nope.
No.
I told him, and these are all people that we've done episodes with. I led with Tad Callister because that was shortly after him passing. Yeah. Right. So that felt.
What about an Osler? Maybe an Osler.
Nope.
Nope.
Then the next one I said was
Janice Cat Perry.
Nope. Although that would be a great guest, and we have done. Yeah. I got like 17 minutes with her one time. I said we interviewed Dan Reynolds, the lead singer of Imagine Dragons, because we have.
Yes, you have.
I said Brandon Flowers, the lead singer of The Killers, because we have.
Another good episode.
And then I said Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, Jim Gaffigan.
I
saw him in concert this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's great. And his episode, very
He
cool.
texts me now. He texts me stuff, yeah.
My show's coming to town. Buy tickets.
No, he had everyone text him, actually. But, of course, it's an automated service that texts me. But randomly, I get texts from Jim Gaffigan now. It's awesome.
And then the final one, because apparently that owner of Crumble, as we have noted, is a BYU fan.
Yes.
I said, hey, and we also interviewed the late Lavelle Edwards.
Oh, my gosh.
So we'll see if I can't
Ooh.
swing him with those
Ooh.
5. I'm not sure.
That's a pretty
Not sure
good
it's ever
swing.
gonna happen.
I would have, because he asked for, well, I would have given him 10, your top 10 easily.
Well,
Man, there's so many good guests.
yeah.
So many.
Which calls me to my last sort of thing. If you would like to be a part of helping make the Cultural Hall vault, what I need is people who can listen to things and know what's offensive. That's what I need you to do. We're going to put out old episodes so that people can catch up and listen from the beginning. One of our guests at the live show, I think Jason, right? He said he found the
Yes.
show and then went all the way back. I want to make those early episodes easier for people to listen to. So there will be a way to do that, but I need help listening for things that might not have aged very well. And trust me, there are plenty of things that have not aged.
There are, but go back and listen to as many as you can because some of them are pretty funny.
Oof, and some of them just cringe. But you can email contact@theculturalhall.com if doing that would be something that you would look forward to doing. So here we go. We hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you weren't healthy enough to listen this week, you'll be healthy enough to listen next week.
And that when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels.
Are you looking for me?
Are you going to take this?
Tiger with a U.
The Tiger with a U. Let's see. Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, and Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast. We'll be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of the Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row. We really gotta go on the Culture Hall show.